When you step into your 60s, something remarkable happens. But it's not what most people expect. You don't begin to fade, you begin to shine. Not with noise, not with force, but with something deeper, a quiet strength, a steady light that your family and the world can feel. After 60, you're no longer rushing to prove yourself. You've already lived. You've already given. Now, you become something far more powerful, ultimately a source of positive energy. In a world that desperately needs it, your children may be overwhelmed. Your grandchildren may be anxious or disconnected. And yet, here you are, holding a calm, grounded energy that recharges everyone around you. But let's be honest, this doesn't happen by accident. It happens by intention. To become that quiet source of light, that steady presence others lean on, you need a new kind of support system. Not one built on people, but one built within. In this video, we're going to explore 6 essential pillars of strength, each one more dependable than even family. These pillars will protect your peace, fuel your freedom, and help you shine from the inside out. So much so that others around you begin to feel it. They'll come to you, not out of duty, but because your presence makes them feel whole. If you've ever wondered how to live with purpose, dignity, and quiet power after 60, you're in the right place. Because the world doesn't need another retiree, it needs your light. Let's begin. Pillar 1, financial stability, the peace that powers your presence. After 60, financial stability becomes something deeper. It's no longer just a retirement goal. It becomes a source of calm, a quiet kind of power, the kind that doesn't shout, but is deeply felt. It becomes the foundation that allows your presence to feel like peace, not pressure. Because when your finances are in order, you don't just breathe easier, everyone around you does too. You stop worrying about every dollar. You stop hinting or hoping someone will step in. You walk into the room steady, and people feel it. Your children may not say it out loud, but your emotional self-reliance gives them the permission to focus on their lives without guilt. Let me tell you about Peter, a 68-year-old grandfather from Michigan. He spent decades working hard, providing for his family, helping his kids through school. Naturally, he assumed that if something ever went wrong, they'd help him, just like he helped them. But life had other plans. A sudden medical issue drained his savings faster than he expected. And when he turned to his children for help, he was hit with reality. They were drowning in their own bills, mortgages, college debt, childcare. They wanted to help, but they simply couldn't. Peter wasn't angry. He was shaken. At that moment, that quiet realization changed everything. He told me later, "I thought love would be enough, but love doesn't pay hospital bills." So he made a decision, not to become rich, but to become ready. He downsized. He set up an emergency fund. He tracked where his money went and made sure it lined up with what mattered most. And slowly, something inside him shifted. Peter didn't just regain financial control, he regained his energy. He stopped worrying. He started smiling more, and his family noticed, not because he said anything, but because he radiated stability. They felt safer just being around him. That's the true gift of this pillar. Financial independence after 60 isn't about luxury. It's about peace of mind. The kind that lets you become a lighthouse in your family, not another wave to manage. So ask yourself, are you building a life that steadies others, or one that silently depends on them? Because after 60, Your financial foundation isn't just your safety here, it's your signal. It tells the world, I'm here, I'm steady, I've got this. And that kind of presence, it shines brighter than any checkbook ever could. Pillar 2, physical health, because your body is the battery that powers your life. After 60, physical health is no longer about looking good. It's about moving through life with energy and ease. You may have a heart full of wisdom, a mind full of ideas, but if your legs hurt, your breath is short, or your joints resist movement, even love feels harder to give. That's what Dolores, a 70-year-old retired teacher from Texas, discovered the hard way. She had always been full of life, organizing events, playing with her grandkids, dancing in the kitchen. But after retirement, she slowed down. I've earned my rest, she told herself. She stopped walking daily, started eating out more, ignored the occasional back pain. But one day, it caught up with her. She couldn't get off the floor without support. She couldn't lift her grandchild without gasping. And one afternoon, she sat in the kitchen, to breath, and quietly scared. It wasn't fear of aging, it was fear of missing out on life while still being alive. That moment changed her. She didn't launch into an intense workout plan. She simply started small. 10-minute walks, gentle stretching, drinking more water, less sugar, more greens. Slowly, her energy returned. Her steps got lighter. Her laughter came quicker. And the biggest change? Her grandkids started asking her to come outside again. Hurries, a ploy to explore, because she wasn't just present. Numbers on. That's the magic of physical health in your 60s and beyond. Not perfection, not performance, just enough strength and vitality to keep doing what you love, with the people you love. So if you've been putting off that checkup, or brushing off the stiffness, or saying it's just part of getting old, don't wait. Your future energy depends on the decisions you make right now. And every time you move your body, feed it well, rest it properly, you're not just protecting your health, you're protecting your ability to shine. Because when your battery is charged, your light never fades. Pillar 3, social circle. Because energy shared is energy multiplied. There's a kind of loneliness that sneaks in quietly after 60, not because you're unloved, but because life shifts. Old friends move away, spouses pass on, children get busy, and one day you look up and realize the house is quieter than it used to be. The danger of that silence isn't just emotional, it's physical. Loneliness after 60 has been linked to high blood pressure, depression, the cognitive decline, even shorter life expectancy. But the most heartbreaking part? It dims your light. You stop laughing. You stop sharing stories. You stop feeling like you. But the good news is, that light is still there. It just needs connection to come alive again. Let me introduce you to Walter, a 73-year-old widower from Oregon. For years, Walter stayed home. Steve talked to his kids now and then. He didn't want to intrude. He didn't want to be that lonely old man. But over time, his days blurred. He forgot what it felt like to laugh with someone, to tell stories that didn't echo back in silence. Then one afternoon, his neighbor invited him to a local book club. Walter almost said no, but something inside him whispered, "Hey, might not?" That just small yes changed everything. He didn't just meet people. He found friends, people who made him laugh, who looked forward to seeing him each week. Soon he was going on morning walks, hosting card nights, even giving advice. To a younger member going through a divorce, Walter became magnetic again, no longer the quiet man next door, but someone people reach for, because he made the room feel warmer. That's what connection does. It multiplies whatever energy you carry and sends it outward. Here's the truth. Your family may love you deeply, but they can't be your entire social life. So they have their own storms to weather. You deserve a space that's just for you, where you're not just mom or grandpa, but lit up again. So look around. Is there a neighbor you could say hello to? A group or hobby you've been curious about? A spark you've ignored? Because you thought it was too late. Because it's not too late. Sometimes, all it takes to feel alive again is to help someone else feel seen. And when you do that, you don't just heal your own loneliness. You become a light for others. So open the door, join the table, start the conversation, and watch how quickly your light comes back on. Pillar 4, sense of purpose, your inner light. There's something few people talk about after retirement. It's not loneliness. It's not boredom. It's the quiet fear that you're no longer needed. You've spent decades being someone, a provider, as a caregiver, a problem solver. You woke up each day with responsibilities, deadlines, people counting on you. But after 60, the noise fades, the titles disappear, and suddenly you're left with a question that's harder to answer than ever. What now? Let me tell you about Gloria, a 70-year-old woman from Florida. She spent 40 years working as a nurse, caring, fixing, guiding. She raised 3 children, ran a household, held everyone together. But when she retired, everything slowed. At first, it felt peaceful. No lines, no schedules, no crisis to manage. But within a few months, the quiet began to echo. She started waking up later, not because she was tired, but because she didn't know what to get up for. Her kids were grounded. Her phone didn't ring as often. And though she smiled when people asked how retirement was going, inside, she felt like she was fading. Until one day, her neighbor mentioned a local mentoring program, a group where retired professionals helped young adults figure out their career paths. Gloria hesitated. She didn't feel useful anymore, but something inside her stirred. A flicker, in burn a loop. She sat with a 22-year-old single mom, studying to be a medical assistant. They talked, they laughed, and for the first time in months, when Gloria walked home feeling alive, she had a reason to prepare, to show up, to share. Her experience, once outdated, was now a lifeline to someone else. And in giving that young woman hope, Gloria found her purpose again. Here's the truth. Purpose isn't tied to a paycheck. It isn't about being busy. It's about waking up and knowing that your presence still matters. And the beauty is, purpose evolves. Sometimes it's teaching. Sometimes it's gardening. Sometimes it's learning a new skill, helping a neighbor, writing your story. But no matter what form it takes, purpose reignites your inner light. It gives your life a rhythm again, a pulse, a meaning beyond the mirror. And when that light shines, others feel it, your family sees it, you stop being retired and start being inspired. So ask yourself, what do I still have to give? What do I still long to explore? Because that's where your new chapter begins. And no matter your age, it's never too late to shine from the inside out. Potentially drain. Emotional resilience, the energy you carry into the room. After 60, life doesn't stop throwing challenges your way. It simply changes the shape of the storm. Friends drift apart, loved ones pass away, health gets complicated, and sometimes it feels like the emotional waves hit harder because fewer people notice. But here's the truth most won't say out loud. Your ability to stay steady through the storm is one of the most powerful things you bring into any room. Because emotional resilience isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about knowing how to feel deeply without falling apart. It's about carrying peace, even when life gives you chaos. Let me share the story of Eleanor, a 75-year-old woman from North Carolina. Eleanor had been married for 46 years. When her husband passed, her world crumbled quietly. She didn't scream. She didn't collapse. She just withdrew. Her kids visited. Neighbors offered casseroles, but nothing touched the ache she felt when the house fell silent at night. At first, she leaned on her children, emotionally, completely. They loved her, but they were also grieving, juggling jobs, raising kids, and Eleanor soon realized, no one else could carry this for me. So she did something that surprised even herself. She joined a grief writing group at her local library, not to talk, just to listen, to sit with others who understood pain without needing to fix it. Week by week, she began writing again. Not polished stories, but honest ones. She let herself feel. She cried without apologizing. And slowly, something shifted. She stopped waiting for others to rescue her. She started rescuing herself. And the more she healed, the more grounded she became. Today, Eleanor is the one others turn to. When someone loses a spouse, they say, talk to Eleanor. She doesn't give advice. She gives presence, a calm energy, a sense of, if she made it through, I can too. That's emotional resilience. It's not about being the loudest voice. It's about being the quiet center of gravity when things get hard. And after 60, that's a power most people underestimate until they feel it. Because when you carry emotional strength, your family comes to you not just for comfort, but for stability. You become the calm in their storm, the soft place to land. He'd remind me that not every reaction has to be loud. Some just have to be wise. So if you're carrying silent pain, don't bury it. Breathe through it. Write through it. Heal through it. Because your strength, the emotional kind, is what allows your light to stay on. Even when everything else goes dark. Pillar 6, adaptability. Because staying open means staying powerful. If there's one thing life guarantees after 60, it's change. The people you relied on start to need you less. The routines you loved begin to shift. The world moves faster, talks louder, and feels like it's evolving without your permission. And in moments like that, it's easy to cling to the past. To say, that's not how it used to be, or I don't need to change, the world does. But here's the truth. Your power isn't in resisting change. It's in dancing with it. Let me tell you about Martin, a 76-year-old retired engineer from Colorado. Martin had always been the fix-it guy. For machines, for problems, for people. He valued logic, structure, addition. And for a long time, it worked. But after his wife passed, and his children moved across the country, Martin's world got quiet and complicated. He couldn't visit family like he used to. His friends were aging, some were gone. Even the technology confused him. Video calls, digital everything. At first, he resisted. Said things like, I'm too old for this. But then, one day, his granddaughter said something that broke his heart open. Grandpa, I wish we could talk more. but you never answer my messages." That night, Martin made a decision. He was going to adapt, not just to stay connected, but to stay alive inside. He signed up for a basic tech class at the library, learned to use Zoom, started emailing, and slowly, his world reopened. Now, he video chats with his grandkids weekly. He joined an online model building group. And in doing so, he didn't just keep up, he found joy again. Martin didn't change who he was. Through Jesus stretched who he was willing to become. That's adaptability, not erasing yourself, but expanding yourself. And after 60, it might just be one of your greatest superpowers. Because the elders who thrive aren't the ones who hold on the tightest. They're the ones who stay curious, stay open, stay flexible, who say yes to learning something new, even if it feels awkward at first. And when you live like that, you stay magnetic, you stay interesting, you stay alive. So ask yourself, is there something new I've been avoiding because it feels unfamiliar? What would happen if I gave myself permission to grow again? Because when you adapt, you don't just survive aging, you rise through it. And the light inside you, it gets brighter with every step forward, even if that step looks different than the ones before. So here we are, 6 quiet pillars, each one strong on its own, but when built together, they form something even more powerful. A life that shines from the inside out. Because after 60, your strength no longer comes from how much you do, but from how deeply you stand. Your financial stability gives you peace, so you can show up calm and unshaken. Your physical health fuels your movement, so your presence feels vibrant, not fragile. Your social connections expand your joy. The laughter finds its way back into your home. Your purpose brings meaning to your days. So you wake up, lit from within. Your emotional resilience keeps you grounded, so others feel safe around you. And your ability to adapt, that keeps you alive in a world that's always changing, not just surviving it, but leading quietly through it. When you build these pillars, you stop hoping others will be there for you, because you've already created a life that holds you. And here's the most beautiful part. When you become this version of yourself, healthy, open, purposeful, and emotionally whole, you don't need to ask for respect. It radiates from you. Your family feels it. Your grandchildren sense it. The world around you softens in your presence. You're not waiting to be remembered. You are unforgettable, simply by the energy you carry. Because the truth is, you are no longer just a part of your family's story. You've become the light they gather around. Not because they have to, but because they want to. So keep building, keep rising, keep shining. Because when you shine, others recharge. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment, topic, and tell us which pillar or rebuild. And if you want more quiet strength like this, subscribe. We're here walking this chapter with you.